This team was not well put together. The ARs aren't consistent. SMGs are finding success, but not as much as they were probably getting used to. But then at Major 1, they completely turned it around. You had Sib starting to put up the numbers we were expecting. Attach started playing a little bit more consistent. And now what we saw based off their last matchup versus Toronto, the teamwork was on point for Cloud9. So I'm excited to see what they're able to bring into this Major. And then on the opposite side for Surge, man, we've been talking so much about Neptune throughout Challengers because obviously we cast it. And just watching his development as a player over the years, he's gotten a lot more consistent. We always talk about how he needs to be in a comfortable situation. And the fact that Vancouver found the perfect player for their kind of team, and it showed all in their first series versus FaZe, man, he's got to be feeling good.
Yep, Nasty was just able to kind of hang out a little bit. He was a walking double kill, it felt like, on the respawns, but a lot of that was because Travis was able to help open up with first bloods. And how about this? A great start for the Surge. 3 down, just Sib, the only one left remaining, as Vancouver will jump in for the early time, and Neptune already off for the Ego Chows.
Oh, you can tell the teamwork is on point for Vancouver. And keep in mind, they've only been a roster for like a week and a half, maybe 2. So the fact that they're able to read those split spawns, everybody committing on their proper angles, you can tell that these guys have been putting in the work. 0-4 now on the pinch is able to line up a double, a perfect start at sitting at 3-0. But this is where we got to start to stabilize the game a little bit. 15 seconds remaining here at P1. Let's make sure we got P2 in our back pocket.
Absolutely the case. So far, things looking smooth like butter, thick like cream cheese is 0-4. Nearly able to turn and find the snapper. Not quite there. Forced team kill does come through. Neptune follows up, but there will still be a 50-50 foot race over towards P2.
And right through the front door, Krep is at least able to put in a little bit of pressure over towards P2. Instantly going to be traded, though. Now Cloud9 forced to try to break their way from that front side, but they are not finding a lot of success in the kills. Thankfully, Sib finds 2. Attach flies on in for the 3rd. The break is here, but for how long?
Yep, and you got a pinch starting to develop as 0-4. Hits this from the front side at Pool, and New York was not at all expecting that. Buza back into the hard point. 0-4 trying to hang out in the position. Top balcony shut down is now Cloud9. Make their approach in from the front. Nasty able to deal with 1, but there's still more on the way until 20 seconds to fight.
Yeah, a lot of players that you have to account for. All applying pressure through that front side. Nades are able to connect for the initial gunfights. But Abuza and 0-4 able to combine for 3, stabilize the map again, and walk away with the final 15. Forced to cut your losses now if you are Cloud9. Already have players set up off that rotation, but they need to find some exit kills, not lose this map control.
Yeah, Nasty just working on these long crosses. Good look at Sib initially, but still gets melted. 0-4 into the hard point. Trying to work onto 1, playing inside the hill. Not quite able to do too much with that. So it leaves Neptune now to try to finesse by himself. But again, believe me, you friends, if you've not been watching Challengers, the one thing that Neptune does provide is the ability to individually finesse. He finds 1 and allows 0-4 to take his place in the hill, and Vancouver continues to tally more time.
Yeah, Cloud9 haven't even gotten close to try to contest this or even get any time here off of P3. All the kills keep going in favor of Vancouver. Abuza on 4 in a row, tries to set up a pinch, but does get caught by Sib. So now Neptune still soaking up that objective hill time. He knows that his teammates are still making plays around the map. 0-4 with the route, secures art spawns for that next hard point. And right now, Vancouver, they just look like a whole different roster. Yeah, that honeymoon stage is hit.
Preach. It's just, there's so much confidence that comes through, even in that little moment around the top of P3. Neptune gets 1 inside the hill and then just immediately starts looking towards gold. His teammates were still working on rotation to new, but that level of trust and communication seems to still be clicking here in the second debut, so to speak, of this Vancouver roster in the Major 2 qualifiers. Nice moment here, though, for Cloud9 on rotation. They wipe the floor and get some good status control over the top of P4.
Yeah, this is one of the hills that Vancouver tended to struggle with versus Atlanta FaZe in their series. A really tight map, number 1, only lost by a difference of 21 points on the opening vault, but they're trying to make the adjustments here to find a break in towards P4. Staying alive towards the back. Great play there from 0-4. Now you have players spawning right next to you. Every single player surrounding a hard point. Executes with a clean 4 dead. Final 20 seconds in favor of Vancouver. And they're going to have a 50-point lead as we go to the second half of this game.
Yeah, just a little bit of a late reaction there from Cloud9 on the rewrap on P4, right? I mean, it looked like they had a really solid setup, but you let one player kind of go amiss. You don't get the full finish off onto 0-4, and then immediately the break is in. So decent hill, all things told, for Cloud9, but mitigated in the last 20 seconds here for Vancouver, and they will get to the second set of rotations. Up about 45 points, but working on it is Cloud9. Trades over the top, and a good read here from Krep on where this hit's coming from, but can't quite find the second to double up, leaving Sib to just battle his own final life.
Yeah, and they leave 0-4 alive. Thankfully, Attach is able to watch that angle on the exit, find that kill, and that leads to 3 dead in the feed. Now you just want to try to flip them on out. Sip knows there's still going to be players on this side of the map for Vancouver. Just wants to hold down his power positions, not able to get anything done, but the information was gained.
4 in a row for Mac. Oh, big chow. Over to 04, does get dealt with, but Attach follows up, leaves a 1v1 over the last 20 seconds, as Abuza will turn that into a double and give Vancouver another solid moment here in the scrap time. Mac, good read, over and up as he goes to P2. That will at least gain a little bit of space here for Cloud9 coming off of respawn to get the setup that they want, especially with Mac finding a bit of a bump and a little bit of an exit elimination over towards the time at P1.
Yeah, just being a nuisance, pushing up, creating those layers, finding a couple kills, alleviating some of that pressure over towards the new hard point. But Neptune finding a big one-on-one and also finds the second. Travis trying to line up 3 in the feed, cannot find that kill onto Sib, but gives his team an opportunity to flip the spawns out. They flip it, but Sib finding 3 allows his teammates to get right back into play.
Yeah, could be a quick counter break already back in. Mac able to find the first, doesn't deal with Neptune though. Cramp more worried about the spawners. Cramp back now into the hard point with Attach here to support. Good shots over to 04, should be dealt with by Sib and will be quickly. Great moment here from Cloud9. Heroics from Sib, allowing a chance here for C9 to play for this back 30.
Yeah, this is a lot of time too. You don't want to give this up if you are Vancouver. So you're still going to try to reinforce your way back on in. A double nade kill from Cramp is not good enough to hold on to the hard point. Hoping that Sib can find at least another double to take him off of it, but Vancouver with more bodies on this side of the map should walk away with the final 5. Still going to be up by about 35 seconds. You have 04 thinking about that rotation, but Mac, he's been the guy for Cloud9 to make a play every single time, catches them off the roto. Now Cloud9 set up.
Yeah, bold challenge, bold moves trying to get through by Vancouver, but dealt with nicely by Cloud9. So now we take the battle immediately over the top of the hard point. Neptune pushing forward, only finding 1. Hard point will go neutral. Spawns a bit wacky, as Cloud9 will have a bit of a split spawn situation, but they're just going to play this minimap from north to south here. Just kind of watch both choke points at the same time. Nasty from behind only can get 1, and the eliminations for Cloud9 continue to reign supreme.
And every single player from Vancouver are just turning this into a lot of one-on-one gunfights. Thankfully, Neptune and Abuza are able to win both of their one-on-ones. Stabilize the map a little bit, and Neptune's not slowing down. Finds another kill. 04 flies on in for the double, and just like that, Cloud9 were thinking, okay, we got art. We should be good for P4. The SMGs are just already in your face. They find all the kills. They flip you out, and now they're in control of the game again.
All 4 Surge members trying to receive this next hit as Cloud9 are making their way through P3 as we jump over to Vancouver. Surge, listen in.
One time, one HP, one bottom up. Yeah. He's in the front corner. Play the back. Twice on time. Yeah, keep it in life on the back, bro. Copy for Max. Nice. One on the back still. And the back dead. Nice. Yeah, line. You keep cutting. You can cross. You can right. Yeah, you alone, bro. You alone. We can. One shot. That's one on the back review. Let's get the gun time now. Nice. Line cut. Watch his ladder. Watch his ladder. Guys, play tight. Fonda, keep twice on. Nice. Sip. Nice. Go right. Yeah, time. One play. Yo, Marble shot first. Have it. My side, nice, that's 12 seconds. Take your time.
What's on the books?
Yeah,
I've up.
He's free. He's gonna go. He's pushing up line cut again. He's gonna
Yeah,
they're all doing that. He's on the line cut stage.
He's open.
Nice.
I've cat.
Mike, bro. Yeah. He's gonna have feed on me, bro.
Open cat.
Open up. I can't open up. I don't know where's the guy open, bro.
Why so me?
That's nice. After me. One more light. He's on time now. Open.
Open.
Nice.
I'm mid
I'll do flank. I'll hold his flank, okay?
Yo, 3v3.
I
got one. That's one thing.
Yeah. I'll the flank.
Yo, I'm stop!
Nice. One on time.
Ball me. Close.
Okay,
Pitch.
Wanna go. Nice.
Should be.
Mid on light. He's still light.
I got stuck.
You're good. Take your lap out. You're on.
Okay.
One shot PT trap. Standing dead. That's
Go
line.
Okay.
Yeah,
Watch for me.
Yeah.
I'm coming up.
Yo, one HP at that.
On the back. Open.
Tempo, movement on the map, looking so good for Vancouver, but Cloud9, even with their backs against the wall in certain these moments, they are coming back and finding the wins that they need, but now we're starting to deal in dire circumstances as Vancouver approach the 200-point mark.
Yeah, this P2 for Cloud9 has not treated them well. They find all the kills at the ending of that P1 with about 15 seconds remaining at that whole time. But then the next wave of kills, Vancouver said, screw challenging through the middle. We're going to push right through pool. And they win all the gunfights to flip them on out. Cannot win it here at P2. You can get pretty damn close. Cloud9 still trying to break their way in through the front side. Neptune affected on at least one trade. Nasty flies on it. Abuza flies on it. It's a 3-for-1, making a 4-for-2 trade. Vancouver right back in.
It's just, again, we just did not see this level of team cohesion from the previous Vancouver roster. Now it's really starting to come together as Neptune again gets his one, finds damage onto another, which makes life super simple for Nasty. Woo! How about Vancouver? 222 to 151. Rotating over to P3, Abuza finds the opener as Cloud9 have to play for hill time.
Yeah, Cloud9 needs to play for hill time here. You cannot put a lot of your focus off the rotation. You have one player in city sitting nice and comfy over towards the top side of P4. But he's just relying on his teammates finding success over towards B Street. Great initial play, though, to find the initial kills for the first uncontested 15 seconds. But Vancouver know that we have a little bit of a lead. We can start to develop on a route. You have Neptune trying to put himself in a position to block the spawn, but none of his teammates are finding kills.
Yeah, that's the big news right here. But there we go. There's two down. Now Neptune can try to fly, but Sib holds him back for a moment. Last player left as Cloud9 will spawn right on his left hip. You gotta fight for this time, though. You cannot allow Vancouver to find more free time here on one of the more contested hills that we have. Nade will get 0-4 out of the time. Trades will go back and forth as Mac tries to hold on rotation, but how about 0-4? He'll spawn behind in New York. They don't have a read on this yet.
They do not have a read in 0-4. Just going to make the heads-up play again and secure this side of the map for his team. Free B trade onto attach. Spawns in control to close out the game here at P4. Cloud9 need some players to apply pressure through the left side and have someone sneak through the right. That was the last time that they found success here.
Oh, and Sim just tries to chow out Abuza. Not going to work. Neptune in the corner. Oh, 31 and 32 for Travis. Last couple of seconds will go the way of Vancouver. Woo, speed, momentum, looking good for Vancouver as the SMGs really put on a show.
Yeah, and people might say it's the honeymoon stage, but I just love this one-person change right for Vancouver because it allows everyone else to be the players that they used to be. 0-4, when he had Hook back on the lineup last year, he was more of that finessing guy because Hook was the guy that was instantly going to fly on into hard points, most likely find a kill. So the fact that you add a player like Neptune is basically the same exact thing. Flying on in, guaranteeing one. You're allowing 0-4 to finesse around, hit these long routes, set up those pinch plays, and allow his team to eventually work off of that. But then it's not only just at 0-4. Abuza and Nasty are loving the addition of Neptune because they know with their old roster, and it's no shade thrown at Hixie, they just know they have the pressure every single time at all of these hard points where their SMGs are flying in front of them, allowing them to get players weak, and then set up those ARs to find an easy double, an easy trade. And that's what's allowing Nasty and Abuza to stay engaged the way that they are due to the pressure that they're applying on the map, the finessing plays that they're applying. And I feel like every single time you're finding kills on Vancouver, it's like they have 7 players with how fast they are playing because they're always in situations to play trades, man. Phenomenal map number 1 from the Surge.
Love it. I absolutely love the duality between 0-4 and Neptune. Like you mentioned, kind of highlighted the fact that Neptune's individual finesse on these long routes has made life very easy, mostly because you can just centralize your focus if you're 0-4. You don't have to worry about doing multiple things at the same time. He ends up getting above a minute 30 in the hill because of it. And then when things get comfortable, it's just like the roles are so easy to read where then, okay, our subs are winning gunfights. They can push through the hard point, and Abuza says, all right, go ahead and hit it. I can jump into the hard point. And I think he found like a minute 40 plus a hill time as well. So it's just, again, that front line, back line duality looking really clean right now for Vancouver. I will say, though, to kind of give a little bit of credit to the other side here, Cloud9 found themselves in some difficult spots a number of times, and at least they were able to battle back. A lot of it due to some individual heroics. Kremp and Sib in particular really stood out in a couple of tough moments, but just not enough. The gap became too large for them to come back on.
Yeah, it was, man. It was due to that P2 and that P4, where it was those 2 hills that costed Vancouver versus Atlanta FaZe. They make those adjustments. They said, okay, we're going to be the team initially to start off P2s. We'll fight off these wave of gunfights. Even if we're trapped in towards the back, we will work our way with the aggression out of our SMGs to lead to success, and then even just staying ahead of the game. Like 0-4 hitting long routes to pinch over towards the backside of P4, knowing that his teammates aren't finding a lot of kills successfully over towards B Street. Just putting himself in that position allows the spawn to be blocked, allows his teammates, if they win a couple gunfights, to now flip the map on its head. And that's what's just allowing him to be that playmaker that he knows he can be. and I'm happy that he's been able to show it ever since this roster change.
Yep. So it's a really steady line there for Seattle, never giving up the edge that they were able to find. A lot of that coming early. Again, you see that gap between P2 and P4 the first time we were there. It got as large as about 40, 50 points, and that's about how large it stayed throughout the entirety of this game. And then, of course, again, like you mentioned, that second rotation back over to P2 again, much more stable for Seattle. So a huge opening for the Surge. And now the question marks for both these two teams going to start to really show themselves here, because the Search and Destroy has been, well, less than great, I would say, for both these two squads throughout Major 1. That was also included at Madrid. So now, after finding some great success, both of these two teams, when they had played earlier this weekend, what do we get now? And I think for some of this, it does come down to, for Vancouver, you can keep trusting what you get out of Neptune, because in Challengers so far this year, he has been great, and that has only been improved upon when he had a chance to show his debut or re-debut against Atlanta.
And that's crazy, because he did even better than he did in Challengers, where we thought he was without question the top SMG. He did it even better versus a squad in Atlanta FaZe who just walked away victorious at Major 1. No big deal. Neptune is just a completely different player now. As he worked his way through Elite, found a lot of success with that Omer Brooklyn squad alongside T-Fel, Craze, and Lunars. He was just so comfortable in that team. You could just tell. They were like, Travis, we know the kind of player you are. Finesse the way that you do. Show your prowess with that SMG. Be the aggressor and just play your game. And I feel like he's always been that kind of player of playing his game. But right now, it's just the development of just finessing his life a little bit more, playing his life in certain situations, making more impactful plays. Yeah, Neptune, he's loving it. He's loving being back in the CDL.
It's just one of those things, like, the desk really did touch on this, Maven in particular. It's like, we always knew that Neptune had the individual skill to hang at this level. That was never in question. The question marks came down to, did he have the patience and the mental headspace to play with a consistent tempo that wasn't just him off by his lonesome trying to 1v4 entire teams? And that, I think, really showcased itself early with his kind of transition into Call of Duty the first time around. And we even noticed that a handful of times, even like last year in Challengers, where it's just like, brother, you don't need to go 1v3 the whole squad. Sometimes he would get away with it, but like, you're not going to get away with that at the pro level. He's really learned a lot. I mean, we talked about it a ton in stage 1 of the Challengers Elite, that he was showing a different level of discipline than we've ever seen from him before.
And that level of discipline allowed him an opportunity to work his way back into the CDL on a roster that definitely needed his style of play. So now we go into this map number 2 for the Surge. They haven't really played it in quite some time. They only have 1 rep. They fell short all the way into round 11. And Cloud9 recently, they dominated off of the back of that first blood, and Sid found it here.
Yep, and that is going to lead to an early 3v3. Quickly bounce back as we have an exchange over the top side at Windows. New York coming out the better for it. And the final kill down low in the connector will also be found quickly. So yeah, first blood turns into a quick 4v3. And Cloud9 never look back, take the first.
Yeah, they read the pressure where it was coming in over through Secret Hallway. Kremp with the big one-on-one, put them in a man advantage, but then at the same time, Attach finds one. Makes it a 3v1. Then the last player on the side of Sur is forced to try to make a play, but just gets picked. This is where Cloud9 showed their adjustments in Search and Destroy. There was a lot of early rounds just setting the tone with their pressure, finding a lot of success with their first bloods, and they found one there.
Do what Vancouver's going to try to square up with on their first offense. Bomb making its way over towards B. We've seen this a handful of times, but it's Neptune who's actually the one who's going to go for the swimming route. So he's going to get all the way to Boathouse. Does he have an AR? That'll be the question. No, he's got a Jackal. So this will be curious, I think, just to kind of see, what does Neptune want to do from this position with a sub in hand?
And if Sib is going to be able to gain that info as well.
Are you kidding?
Sorta has a read and lines it right on up perfectly onto Neptune for the first blood. You set up Mac, and a team nade comes in from Sib for the second. Man advantage Cloud9.
Yeah, lots of damage by Sib, and you know he wants every bit of this. Kremp will be the one to get the benefit of the two, but talk about just the counter read. Sib, hard scope, ironed up, expecting the water route number 1, and that will work out for a quick follow-up here for Cloud9.
Yeah, teams are going to have to expand on that kind of play right there. When you're going to send someone swimming through a pool, because we saw Kremp do it yesterday for Cloud9. That's been a really consistent play for all these guys trying to find success early on over towards that B site. But if you're not applying pressure over towards well, no presence through top mid, they're sort of going to get a read on that, and that's exactly what happened there. Sib said it's way too quiet around the mid-map area. Someone's got to be swimming. Lines up that first blow onto Neptune, finds a second with the nade, and then the numbers in favor of Cloud9 allowed him to take the round.
Quick hits here from Surge. A little double setup for Abuza and Nasty up top in the windows, while 04 and Neptune get to work playing through open hallway, and they are trying to chase down Kremp, who is weak at the moment. Yep, that's a good first blood. Is there a follow-up here? There's a lot of players nearby. Sip, next one up, and Neptune will be good for the second. Now it's just out to finding the defuse.
And Nasty already has a read that someone at least pushed their way over through 10. 4v2, someone just instantly hopped that bomb. You're able to take care of Mac. 1v4, all left up to attach. No one currently going to be on the bomb, but you have too many players still alive. Vancouver able to secure the defuse, secure the defensive round. And that was due to the aggression right there. You saw how much space that they were able to take away from Cloud9. You got two players getting aggressive over the rock. Okay, no one's B side. No one's top open. The play instantly has to be coming over towards B. So they're able to isolate onto Kremp for the first blood, and then Neptune again. Finding another double, realizing someone has to be watching the pinch. Catches him in the mid sprint for the second kill. Easy retake right there for Vancouver.
Really good stuff. Then again, just a set play. Get the SMGs aggressive, top halls, take that over. Easy reads from there on out. So a little bit of mind game starting to develop in this very early stage of the Hacienda search. Neptune trying to get finesse down low. Oh, and Nasty. That elimination onto Mac allows Neptune just to fly. He does break through the doors very loudly.
He has bomb too.
Yeah, and this is kind of one of those tricky moments where if you fall here, that could completely ruin this round, and he does.
Oh, that's tough. Cloud9 are not going to have the info. That is going to be the bomb carrier, but 04 is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Attach is able to take care of him. Now Nasty left in a 1v3. He was the player who found that initial first blood, so trying to play for the ace, but every single player from Cloud9 are playing for the chow. And that's just one of those rounds there where if you are Vancouver, you found that early first blood 10 seconds into the round, we just got to slow it down because Cloud9 are forced to now make the play, but you give it to him.
It just feels odd because when Nasty gets the first blood, I don't think Mac gets a read that Neptune is playing through Fountain like that. So you have this like level of concealment where you feel like you're behind enemy lines without anyone having any idea that you're there. But then Neptune decides to go out towards kind of the boathouse field and gets a little bit caught there when you would have thought that maybe he would have waited for 04 and they would have team worked out office, but not the case. And Cloud9 find themselves now up 3-1. Nades this time going to be exchanged over the top of the A bomb site. A good look at it. Neptune will be stunned. Tosses one of his own, but Cloud9, they get their information. They say, we're not interested. We're going to flip this back to B.
And I love that play right there out of Cloud9. Throwing a couple tacks to force him on the opposite side. Allows Kremp now to develop on this water route. He's not going to get sniffed out. They are keeping them at bay, though, from allowing this bomb to get planted. It sort of looked like Neptune was going to have a read that someone was going for this water route, but he turns around and that Kremp, your turn to make a play.
This is one of those moments where the route man very well may just get paid out, but Neptune does kind of keep his spidey senses moving and is aware, at least large enough that someone could be hitting that long route, and it will work out for first blood. Now it comes down to the retake. 3v4 situation. Cloud9 just going to stick on towards Rock. Sid the first one to get caught on the pinch. And then the follow-up onto Mac is good. RCXD trying to stall things out as Mac tries desperately to hold onto the site, but he's about to get completely overwhelmed. Here comes the full flood. 1v3 moment. Mac finesses nicely for the first. Damage towards the second. Hold on, he's out of there. Not quite able to get around the corner, though, and that'll be enough time for the defuse.
Oh, the fact that Neptune committed so hard and someone playing that water out is about knowing your opponent. You saw Cloud9 play this yesterday in their series versus Toronto, and Kremp did not hit that water out only once. He hit it twice. So that's one of their go-to game plans there. They realized, okay, they were showing a little bit of presence over towards B. Then realized, okay, once they back down from well, they have to be pushing their way over towards the opposite site. Thankfully, Neptune is able to commit on that gunfight versus Kremp, find that first blood, and then just trade their way on out on the retake. Vancouver secure the round.
What comes next here for the Vancouver offense after being foiled on the long water route and then similarly so trying to play aggressive through mid doesn't work out? They're going to go to the old tried and true. Get into secret, stun it, nade it, try to get fire control. You've got Abuza this time holding onto the bomb, so the SMGs very well may have the freedom to try to get aggressive here.
Yeah, 04 doesn't want to be too aggressive here, though, because there's a player waiting right around the corner, and it's going to be Kremp. Tries to find that kill, But look at Neptune on the pinch, Alan.
Yep, this is great intel. Neptune's gonna follow up on it, but only gets one. Had two right in front of him on a silver platter, but Sib gets the quick reaction to stop the play before it could really punish this Cloud9 defense. Trophy system down though. Kremp getting to work with the little angle underneath this canopy, but not able to fully get the kill. Nade will be denied by Trophy, and we'll get a 3v3 post plant.
Yeah, he commits on the bomb plant too. So now Cloud9 forced to retake in a 3v3. Got a double hop up through top mid. They're trying to retake their way through open, but 0-4 staying active on the pinch, finds that kill.
Well, but Kremp, he just runs up. Kremp runs up, he finds two on the bomb. Hold on a second, how has Kremp made that happen? He's gonna hop for the defuse, he knows he's got attached trying to help him, or does he? Oh, 0-4, had an angle. A couple of the shots got through, but attach comes back into the play, finds the kill. And we didn't get a chance to see it, but Kremp just slides out to rock and somehow takes down both post plant defenders.
Yeah, it seemed like Nash was a little frustrated on that round. Takes off his headset in that player cam thinking, oh my God, if I get that trade, we most likely walk away with this one. But Kremp catches the timing, gets the freebie for the first. Nasty, yeah, that's a nasty gunfight. No wonder we take the headset off with a little bit of frustration, because Kremp just made another big time play for this Cloud9 roster to secure the round.
Wow. And that's all due to the fact that you thought 0-4 was covering the full pinch from open. Just small COD timings. Leads to a 4-2 advantage now for Cloud9. Oh, good read here. That told though. Kremp's got to actually go big, and he does. Okay, so he's able to finish off both SMGs, but the bomb is down. Nasty's caught in the corner. Kremp working on the ace. He's on 5 in a row. Stun will go through, not connect though. And the 1v1 will reset.
He's playing against Abuza, who loves to be in these 1v1 scenarios, but a lot of time for Kremp to work with. 55 seconds. Don't know if Abuza has the info. The bomb is going to be down towards mid open. But we're just both going to have a stalemate.
And Abuza's just going to stay locked and ironed right now. Kremp has the space to collect and get a free plant here if he wants it. And he's going to try to plant this for what looks to be window side. Keep in mind, I believe he only still has an SMG in hand here. And yeah, it's indeed the case. He's going to put himself in a corner. And it's all about the COD timing. Does he get this as Abuza tries to re-wrap around the back?
Oh, and timing, checking this bomb side might work out because Kremp makes another play happen. Finds the 2 kills in the previous round to secure it. How about an ace in the next one? Flies on in from mid-open, even with both of his teammates dropping initially. Turns it into a 2v2, stays active through the middle of the map, makes it a 1v1. As we take a look at it again, sets up the first one out of 0-4, even though he was weak. He knows that Neptune was one shot, effective on the trade again. But then in the one-on-one, COD timing goes its way, as he's able to secure the round there for Cloud9, now at game point.
Yeah, huge double in the round prior. The ace to follow up puts him on 6 in a row, 11-2. RC going to be immediately thrown in. He is really close to having the Hellstorm with how these kills have come through as well. RC will be denied pretty quickly through connector as Vancouver is already threatening the A site.
Did you have that info? I'm pretty sure there was another RC car that did get invested to keep him off the objective, and Kremp again with another first blood. Attach effective on the trade numbers, Cloud9.
Yeah, looking good as Mac is able to tally onto Neptune. Last one up is 0-4, and he is stuck inside a connector. Cloud9 have him surrounded. Come up with your hands up, and Kremp getting rowdy in the player cam, rightfully so, as he leads Cloud9 to some heroic round wins, and it gets us level in this series, tied up at 1 map apiece.
That's why you got that young man on the lineup, because he's always going to bring it in search and destroy. Not afraid to make plays, flies on in for multiple first bloods throughout the map. But then when you need him to clutch up a couple rounds, he's also able to do that. A very dominant search and destroy there from Cloud9. They found success in their previous series in a 6-1. 6-2 is not as clean as you did it in the previous round, but you got a 12-3 performance out of Kremp, 8 non-traded kills, only 1 first blood to his name. But there's not a column for how many clutches he found himself in. Cloud9 tied the series.
Also important to note, talking about Sib just kind of staying in form. He may have only been 6-5, but 4 assists, and he had the top damage in the lobby, I believe. So, again, he's getting himself involved and getting himself active. We got a protocol control before we go back to Hacienda for the hard point. Should be a thriller based on what these two teams have showed so far on this re-becoming of Major 2 in the qualification process, and I'm sure the desk has plenty of thoughts in terms of how these teams are following up in their second appearance so far.
Thank you, gentlemen. 1-1 at the half. It's been fun to watch so far, but Vancouver dying a little too early for your liking, Maven.
Well, I mean, I liked the 3-0 call, even though it was a stupid call by me. I liked it after the map 1. I felt pretty good about it.
Right.
Even the map 2, like the map 2 should, okay, listen, Crimp had a takeover game, but the number of first bloods you threw away, and then Nasty got absolutely dunked on by Crimp in the what, not the 1v2, it was like a 2v3, whatever it was, but he got absolutely dunked
when he
on
slid
with
statue.
Yeah, 2 players by Rock. It's crazy to say, like, you could have won this if you were Surge. It was not a 6-2 type game, but that's what the scoreline was.
Yeah, it's hard to watch because you could tell that Surge put the work in and watched the VOD from the side of New York who just played this the other day. You know what Crimp likes to do. You know he likes to go through backwater. I could hear Ant, even though he's not here, saying, he's doing it again! Why is he in the water again? And so Surge, I mean, they read it perfectly, but man, it's hard because they just played way too slow. It felt like they were second-guessing themselves in a couple of moments where it was like, dude, just plant the bomb and play the post plant for the love of God. So Vancouver Surge, a couple of sells, New York, a couple of clutches. Shut up, Cramp. Unreal second half of that game.
Yeah, the man had an ace. He had 2 kills in the round before that. Finishes 12-3 and just embarrasses some.
Stop playing that one.
Yeah, I mean,
We
he
get
has
to a
a
game
something
5.
there.
Is Cloud9 the favorite?
I guess if you say based off their like recent performance, yeah, but I don't know. I guess I still feel okay about my Surge pick just because this, like, if I go back and watch this, if I'm Surge, like, there's a lot of just fixable things, like easily fixable things. Like, it was just like simple mistakes. I wouldn't panic too much over that loss, but Crimp came to play. He was getting hyped up. That was fun to watch. I guess I gave it Nasty a little bit too bad. I mean, no one got shots into him first. He was full health, but like, how does that happen so often where like you've got 2 to 3 players there and the person gets out the door for free and like takes no damage? I know you just slide across and all, but I feel like it happens so often. Like that same type of play, all the time.
One-sided affair on our first set of Hacienda. We'll see it a little bit later for Hardpoint. Allie, first, though, let's revisit what happened in the first Hardpoint. How did the Surge lock this one in?
Well, so it was a pretty close game, but this is kind of the biggest game-changing play for me when it came to that first Hardpoint. We'll get right into it. It's just a good route taken by Abuza and good situationals. Right now, Vancouver Surge had not been having a good couple of P2s because they hadn't been sending anybody over there early. Abuza and Neptune go over towards the pool side of things. Abuza, and when we open up the mini map, is going to be number 2. That's going to be Neptune, your number 4. Neptune says, I'm going to go chow this. There's like 13 seconds on it. Those 13 seconds need to be mine. And Abuza's like, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to push up towards the backside of P2 and try to get us spawns for the first time during the entirety of this game. So Abuza's going to hit a route, but it's not just that Abuza hits the route. He's going to land some damage. So on the side of New York, they know he's back here, but unfortunately, it just doesn't matter. He's going to secure them spawns, and not only that, pick up a couple of stragglers on the way. And this is where Surge is going to make the couple of chains and runs to pull away with this first hard point. And just wanted to shout out, Abuza's been having a couple of slow hard points and wanted to give him some of his flowers.
It was pretty tight when you looked at the slaying until the later moments of the game and numbers in favor of Vancouver Surge. Are they the better slayers going into control? Does anyone win an attacking round, Nameless?
Nameless?
You call me Nameless again.
Jeez.
I love it. Listen, it's all right. It's all right. And I don't get it. I'm 6'3". He's like 4'9".
It's the beard.
Oh.
You guys are just so handsome. Go ahead.
What was the question? You asked Nameless, so I blacked out.
Not asking.
Or did they win offensive route? Okay, well, it was Vancouver that, when I casted it, it was first phase was the protocol. They looked really, really good there. It's hard to have thoughts on like, wait, are we going to protocol or Hacienda?
Protocol.
Protocol. Okay, so yes, they looked incredible there. Getting called Nameless threw me off so much, but we are both very handsome men. But no, they looked incredible against phase. They had 2 offensive wins, I believe, in that one, and it was the pressure constant from Neptune. It really was Nasty that took over. Nasty was incredible. I hope he can bounce back after the search. He looked a little bit flustered, but he had a solid map 1. I'm looking to Nasty to take over again. They looked really good here against FaZe. Somehow You Call Me Nameless convinced me that map 3 was Hacienda. And I was like, there's nothing we could take from that, but it is
I kind of wish it was
Thank you, Nameless, for the insight.
You're
time
welcome.
to send it over to the best and worst golfers in the CDL.
Oh, hey guys, you look good. Jeremy, you're so handsome.
That's not true, by the way. You give Jay a week on the golf course pucket, and he's got you by
I love that you assumed that you weren't
Let
the
him
worst
know,
golfer.
Duo. Let him know. I got you, Jay. Don't let these guys clown on my boy. I've seen him in action. You give this guy a week with the sticks. Wow, he's coming hard. All right, let's talk, brother. Give me some love about this vault spree we've got coming through here. What we got with Protocol, rather, coming up with the control. It just feels like this is going to be a run and gun style coming up.
Oh, yeah, I love this map, obviously, for both teams. Cloud9, they're currently on a 2-game win streak on Protocol. When they started to add this into their map pool, they just found a lot more consistency out of the ARs on this map. SMGs are still going to be able to finesse and influence spawns a certain way. They're one of the best teams on the defensive side. It's just the only thing about their offense is they don't really get a lot of segments. And then on the opposite side for Surge, we saw them versus Atlanta. Atlanta usually love themselves some protocol control, but they just couldn't really find their footing because you had the ARs dominating top presence through windows. You had the SMGs consistently being nuisances in your base, and you can never stabilize a moment because Surge will always not all dropping at the same time. So that is what you're going to have to deal with here if you are Cloud9, because the way that Neptune and 04 played off each other yesterday was good enough work for their ARs to just completely take over. Maven hit her right on the head. Nasty took over in that control. I'm looking for him to have a bounce back here as well.
See what happens. Just one of those maps that hang on for dear life at times. And with how the subs are running right now, I feel like we're going to get one of those mixy maps that is just going to come down to maybe just COD timing overall. As we look at the overall control records, I will say, just kind of reflecting back on Cloud9 and where they did make a little bit of damage occur in their, well, short, kind of abbreviated run, able to take down Boston and lose round 1. Hey, their control looks solid. In particular, it was on this map. They won this both versus Boston as well versus Minnesota. Of course, in their series earlier this weekend versus Toronto, they won a Hacienda control as well. So things are trending in the right direction. But if you're on the other side for Vancouver, you're looking at Abuza. He has been, I would say, a little bit quiet compared to how he finished the year last year, but he is starting to come to life, especially with the re-addition of Neptune in the mix.
Yep, and already into this game, attached with the absolute Yobi to shut down the playmaker on the other side of Neptune. Gonna alleviate some of that pressure to the middle of the map, but I love how patient Cloud9 were playing on their attacks. They're playing for the kills. You don't want to initially fall, because even with that B point changing from all the way bottom boat to top plat, it's still very difficult to work out of your base.
Indeed the case. Mac already trying to work with a little bit of high ground. Shots from Abuza, keeping him within consideration as there's the play from on top of the ropes. And Vancouver looking pretty comfortable here defensively. Sid just kind of trying to keep 04 at bay just a touch. The hunt is on for him. Still can't quite finish off the elimination. 04 is just up and down the ropes. Finally down with 2 kills for New York as they try to get their way over to one of the 2 zones.
Yeah, stalls out a lot of time, though, for what New York can now get done. Only 35 seconds to go. This time you got to worry about Neptune on your pinch. He's able to line up a freebie onto Kremp. He still knows that the pressure's going to be over towards Heli. Give me number 2. And it's already 3 players accounted for. 3 players coming off the respawn. Neptune said, yeah, I'm going to go get these guys.
Yep. This is where Neptune thrives, where he can just kind of run and do whatever he wants, knowing he's got teammates behind him to allow him to do just this. 5 in a row. Neptune really showing, if you've missed out on what he's done in Challengers, this is exactly the POV we've been treated to. But that told, Cloud9 going to stop the clock at 5.7. Trades will come through, and they can actually stack this A zone for some progress here.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have any trophy systems yet, so hopefully the Nade is able to connect for Vancouver. Abuza starts off with the first kill. First segment is going to be locked. Nasty takes care of the player pushed out to his spawn, and now there's only 1 player left to account for, and that's Attach, and he's lining them up. Double headshots allows that second segment to come on in, and Cloud9, they're reinforcing.
Yeah, they sure are. Neptune and Abuza, those do clear out the front side of the zone, leaving Mac. He has to go massive, and find 2. Does he get a read on 04 on the cross? Yeah, the damage is actually really solid. Pistol out, damage to 04. Nasty trying to hang on, but the clock will expire on the offensive attempt for Cloud9.
And that's just what Vancouver do. Just stay in your base, be a nuisance. You're thinking, okay, we can take care of 04. We also took care of Nasty in our spawn. But Neptune just found a route to give you issues off the respawn. He's able to go on 5 in a row. Only allows about 15 seconds for Cloud9 to make a play. And Attach almost gets it done. It's just more effective trades at the very end from Vancouver. Only allowing 2 segments to get away from them as they secure the defense.
And now you do really need, I think, if you're looking at this from Vancouver's point of view, you do so well in the defense. You stop Cloud9 from finding much progress whatsoever. Now you kind of ruminate on what exactly do you want to do here from the offensive side. Do you just try to play for quick progress, try to put the pressure on where exactly the bar is set? Can you find ways to get clean wins to open up the map? Maybe even get one of these zones done quickly. And how about it? The patience will pay out. First 2 kills are on the way, and now all of a sudden, Vancouver will make their move over towards this newly positioned B zone.
And 04 was able to gain info onto another player. Slides right on into the tower. Give me the pistol. Not good enough for the kill onto Cramp. At least sets up Abuza there for the trade. First segment still being worked on. Abuza knows my teammates got my top mid covered. But Max is going to walk right on in and take care of him. Time still ticking.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was Vancouver was just trying to win back their building, and they end up falling down into Spiral to play through PCs. Now Neptune trying to get aggressive, catches attached, repositioning, as he may be able to single-handedly secure this first tick. Also considerate of where exactly these Cloud9 defenders could be respawning from. And he may get timing. The shot's not perfectly clean, and Neptune maybe over-challenges the touch, and now it's just left to Abuz to try to hang on to the zone.
Yeah, a little too aggressive there right there out of Neptune. Obviously, an 11-7 start. You're feeling yourself a little bit. It does lead to now all of Cloud9 retaking the map right back away. Mac on 3 in a row. They're applying pressure over towards the right side. You're trying to force Vancouver to commit all their cookies over towards the same point. But with only 30 seconds, you at least want to make up for one more segment.
Yeah, you would love that. And they may have to default to playing over the top of the B zone. Problem is, Mac is starting to heat up on 4 in a row. Nice shot,
Take 2.
Neptune. 5 in a row now for the Mac attack. And I just don't know if you can get back up top the ladder here to the B zone. Abuz is going to give it a go, but Mac is going to get the read, and the immediate follow-up is solid. Cramp shut down by Neptune, but with only 5 seconds, this is going to have to be a mad dash for the surge over to A to try to get something desperate going.
Yeah, here comes the touch on the pinch. We're not able to keep track of Amir. All he needs is 1 kill to secure the round, and they only allow 1 segment to get away from you. As Cloud9 one-up them on their defense, tie the game up at 1. Still going to be in the lead by 1 segment, but it was Mac this time around, making the plays when he got to their base. Also, a little bit of an overheat there from Neptune, because once he ego-chowed over towards tower, they couldn't work out of their spawn.
Yeah, tough scenes, and it's one of those that you think you've got to beat on someone. Yeah, I think it was Mac who initially crossed. It was probably down to maybe a bullet or 2, and you're thinking, ooh, I got a kill in front of me, but yeah, the rest of Cloud9 were right behind him. So, small moment there. It's, again, kind of one of those things you look at and say, all right, well, lesson learned, but well, you would hope. I mean, again, like you mentioned as well, on top of that, I mean, 13 and 10, he is flying and frying right now. Cloud9 back onto the offense. Early eyes over the top mid, trying to maybe position themselves or something over towards A, but 04 is already behind through sidewalk. No one even looked at him, and he's already causing problems for the Cloud9 attack.
And now you're already going to waste a lot of time trying to locate where 04 went. And that's going to allow now his ARs to set up from those top positionings. Find those last couple of kills. 04 again strikes for a second one of the round. But now they have all the maps in control to go their way. A lot of time being wasted from Cloud9 needing to fight out of their spawn.
This is just, again, with the reposition of the B zone, it's just, it takes so long for anything to develop. It really does force the offense to have to play through mid. I think the thing about it is they're trying to, you know, for Cloud9, trying to play from window to window, but you lose track of the SMGs that are running around behind you. Although, Kremp makes a bit of a solo play again. This time he sneaks over to the backside of the Vancouver spawns. He'll force them to spawn towards B, and this is already a first tick with maybe more on the way at A for the Cloud9 offense.
Yeah, but Abuza on the pinch is not going to allow them to walk away with this for free. He is going to get traded. Neptune finds 1. Neptune is able to find a double. Now the stack is going to be in towards the point. And Neptune finding 3 allows his team another opportunity.
Yeah, but Mac just pulls out an AR, shuts down Nasty at mid-map. Now gets to work on the 3rd tick of progress. Trophy system keeping him and Krep safe, and Krep turns that into another double kill. Wow, 16 and 13. Now moving his way around the backside at tower, and he's not done. Finds himself another elimination onto Nasty. Finally, the shutdown comes through for 04, but the life lead now amounts to 4 as Cloud9 try to restructure towards B.
Oh, big double, though, comes in out of 04. Takes care of every single player from New York in his spawn. Now you can start to push your way up through that mid-map. Nasty, unfortunately, does get caught. A 5 and 16 start. You need him to start to turn around. You're currently down by 5 lives, and Cloud9 are already on the point.
Yeah, just hold an angle at this point. Get ironed up. Problem is, you're going to have to start making some moves here. Neptune finds 1. He might have to do it all by himself, though, and he may be good for it. He gets a second, but there's just no help around the back. So now Cloud9 from this front side stairs with Attach leading the way. Almost able to get the better of Nasty, but That elimination puts a pause to the Cloud9 attack. 60 seconds to play. Vancouver down to 6 lives.
Okay, and this is where you have time to develop on a long pinch if you are Cloud9. Let's just make these kills go our way or trade out. Everybody played the buddy system, but they're all getting picked apart one by one. Cramp, last player alive, is able to find 04 before getting pushed in towards 10. With only 45 seconds to go, though, we need to find an opening.
There it is. So able to blast away Abuza. Cramp following up on 04, leaves Neptune again in a position to where he's just going to have to showcase why he gets picked up. First kills are good. Cloud9 threatening her on the backside at B. Leaves Abuza to try to deal with it in a 2v6. 32 seconds on the clock. Dealt with is Abuza. Now it's just down to Neptune. From behind the play. Deals with the first. Second tick of progress is done. It's a double stack on the zone. Trying to fly forward, but not going to work out. Cloud9 take the offensive win.
And they played that beautifully on that attacking round. Every single time one of the players from Cloud9 got themselves in an opportunistic situation where they're getting pushed up into their base, they were making it count. And every single time it was basically Cramp. He just walks right through the middle of the map, is able to find a double after a double, keeps them at bay, influences the spawns for them to consistently try to break over through that 8 point from tower. Nades don't connect, flanks not working. Allows his teammates to extend the game clock, keep the sling in their side, and take advantage in the map. I'm pretty sure they're up by 6 segments now.
Yeah.
So that should guarantee them defense if they get to round 5.
Yeah, I think you're right. So a tall ladder to climb here if you're Vancouver. Nade over the top, look the outside. Look, it actually hit a couple of Cloud9 members, and it very well may have. Sib, last one left alive, just playing at the backside of this top middle ledge. Stunned off, has to go play through field. He may get an opportunity actually to get up top here. There's no one contesting this building. Did he get an angle at this? Timing not great. 04 comes up as soon as Sib tries to take his focus back over to the A zone, but from the front, Cramp just runs in and gets another double. How many times have we said that phrase?
And it's over through sidewalk as well. Like, he doesn't have the gun for the choice, like to knock them off the head glitches. He's still running that Jackal, but even after the update, attachments, you don't know what you're running nowadays. It's still one of the takeover weapons that we have in the game. And he's able to shut down that initial play coming in. But now Vancouver, a lot of map control to go their way, right back onto the 8 point with the double stack.
And you've also got Abuza on a route through B. He's touched the zone, but Attach finds that kill. It allows Mac to now make a route happen over towards the offensive building. Neptune. A double over on the A zone, trying to get the early extra 60 seconds in, will not be challenged. So the minute will come through. His route does get shut down though, and things will stabilize 18v18.
Oh, and a big kill from Nasty onto Kremp. You still know that there's one player you have to look for in your base, and it's going to be Mac. He's able to find the kill onto Neptune. You have 04 applying pressure over towards the outskirts of steps, and he finds that kill onto Mac. So everyone accounted for in your base is clear. Let's hop on the point.
Yep, that works for 04. Trying to control backside tower. Nasty, good through the middle of the map. And now it's just down to can we find Sib in 04?
Big win.
Absolutely critical. Allows now a chance for Vancouver to climb the ladder, stack this thing up. No trophy system down though. You can see the nades over the top. They're landing on the zone. Not quite finding enough damage to security kills, and 04 off the regen. Now he hits a bit of a pinch up the tower ladder. Second tick is looking decent. Neptune with another double. 04 coming back to the zone, looks good, and now the stack will allow a chance at a 5th round to come through. Whoa, what an explosive play for Vancouver and 04 in particular.
Yeah, and I don't know now if Cloud9 have that defense guaranteed, because that was a heavy outslaying round there for Surge. They end the round 14-6 in lives remaining. But it's just, again, just realizing who we are looking for. With that B point being changed, you can no longer camp towards the bottom side of the bunker to try to contest that. So, and we have top mid. We're pushed out towards backside tower. He has to be trying to set up a pinch, and just finding that one kill onto Sib basically guarantees the round there for Surge, as they are now able to force a round number 5, and they are going to be the team on defense. Cloud9, you are definitely weren't prepared to be this squad on this side.
Just that last moment where you've got players carrying 3+ kill sprees into this round. Like you said, the life disparity, the tiebreaker after the ticks were put together evenly. And now tough moments as New York have to try to battle out of their spawn. 04 getting the work done on one side. Neptune trying to hold off on the other, and the Tash is just trying to hunt down this 1v1 with Nasty.
And 04 is on 7 in a row. catches the timing, knowing that the play is going to be over towards Heli. Prematurely shoots at Sib, and now he might be trapped.
Or not.
Miraculously is able to still walk away with the kill, Allen. That is jaw dropping, but still Cloud9 are going to be able to walk away with at least one segment here today.
First segment will be secured. Neptune, big win, as he's having himself a Goliath map, 32 and 27, doing a lot of it in and around the objective on top of it. But still, that told, Cloud9 will stay strong on the A zone. Abuza up from behind, catches off one player off guard. Second tick locked, third being worked on, but Cramp, trying to play his life, has to bounce out of the zone, and as he does, now the clock continues to tick.
And this gotta be so annoying because, all right, we already have to deal with 0-4 and Neptune in our grill with the Jackal. But then you have players like Abuza and Nasty who are gonna do the same exact thing when they pick up that SMG off the ground.
Oh!
And now with only 35 seconds left, Cloud9, they get 3. So they have a double stack on that B point. They have a solo capture over towards A. Can Kremp get anything done? No, he's gonna fall. And Vancouver give themselves another opportunity.
But at the same rate, clock will stay paused for a moment until 04 pops up from behind the tower, clears the zone. Nasty able to make sure 04 stays alive. Cramp working on the extra minute. Doesn't fully get it. The contest is in. Neptune finesse.
Oh my God.
Neptune gets 2. Neptune!
Oh!
What are we talking about? Neptune, an absolute takeover moment at the very last second. 15 seconds on the clock. Cloud9 are stuck back in spawn, and that third tick of progress has been fully depleted.
You gotta get through Neptune. Thankfully, Mac finds that kill. Kremp finds a second through top mid. So they're able to put the game clock at a pause again, but can 04 do anything on this pinch? He also has 30 to his name, but instead of playing for that retake, you know you're gonna give it up. Let's play for the spawners, keep the lives in our favor.
Playing for the map control. Big 1v1 here. Nasty.
Big win.
Things out. Kremp trying to keep some presence for Cloud9 through the middle of the map as 04 gets shut down off the spawn trap. 9 plays 7. The clock becoming a factor second by second down to 45.
And Kremp has a lot of map control in his way. Potentially catch the timing on this pinch, but Sib is able to take care of Abuza. Now what can Kremp do? Gets info on at least one player. Mac finds a second kill. That's 3 dead. Nasty, last player alive.
Absolutely the case. Kremp trying to finesse. Nades over the top are starting to land. Nasty playing over towards the Cloud9 building. Kremp just dancing with the devil right now. And it takes 2 to tango, but he is overwhelmed by way more than that as Vancouver will reclaim the zone. 2 more lives remaining for Cloud9. The heroics over the A zone, stopped by Neptune as Attach, the last one left to battle, finds Nasty. Clock is going to become the biggest opponent for him. Has to play on the zone, and as he drops out of the window, Vancouver will find the win. But wow, the triple from Neptune at the last second steals the show.
That is unbelievable. The fact that the new guy on the roster is making game-changing plays. The utmost confidence on the side of Neptune to work his way through the outskirts, jump his way through the bottom grandma's window, even when there was 3 players pre-aiming him. He finds that first, a little shimmy on for the second, but the slide for the third kill allows his teammates to retake the map. 04 continuously just getting lost in your base, but then I also think Nasty had quite a turnaround because he was getting dogged. He wasn't finding trades. He found himself in situations where SMGs were consistently sliding into his face, but then he started to slow the game down as the game started to develop. Clutched up in a gunfight here, clutched up in a gunfight there, but no bigger moment than that very ending where his teammates go 3 dead. He instantly finds 1 kill and then just finesses around that spawn. Doesn't allow the stack to go down. And eventually for his teammates to work their way back into the play. Vancouver and Cloud9 give us an absolute show there on the protocol. But it's Vancouver able to ice up at the end.
And how about Travis Neptune McLeod? Wow, it is one of those things, man, and just to kind of share the story that we told through Elite 1, you know, I think you and I both were like, you can see it. Neptune's still very talented. He's got the individual gun skill to hang with the best of them, but what was the trust level going to look like? What was the discipline going to look like? And we've seen, I think, not just in the last couple of days of the Challengers Elite playoffs, but in his re-debut, there's moments where you say, all right, he brings something to the table that Hixie just couldn't. But when you put that in the combination of his ability to single-handedly win back that A zone, I mean, what do you even say about that? That is something that we don't get treated to often, and there it is, like you said, a little one pump, a little slide chow. Thank you for the A zone back. That was the game winner right there.
I've always thought that even when Neptune wasn't finding a lot of success early on into his CDL career, that he was one of those impactful SMGs. He had everything to him. He had the movement, he had the finesse, he had the shot. The only thing he was missing was the discipline. You go through a couple years of challenges, you step away from Call of Duty in general, go through Halo, to come back and just mold yourself into a completely different player in the aspects that you needed to change. The fact that he's able to finesse the way that he is, to keep that confidence that in a 1v3, I'm still gonna fly in and get something done. This is why Vancouver picked you up to the lineup, to make game-changing plays like that. Now you just need one more map to complete the honeymoon stage in week 1, to beat Atlanta FaZe, to beat C9. This would be fantastic for his confidence.
It was one of those things, man. I mean, we're feasting right now with these two squads and this kind of re-identification. I mean, we've talked about it a lot at the major. Sib had a spark without question with Cloud9. He's carried that so far. So it does feel like a little bit of a new life has been granted to the lungs of Cloud9 New York. The search and destroy in particular has been unbelievable. But now you got to consider the fact that we're going to a Hacienda hardpoint. And I will say, I think that puts a lot of existential pressure onto players like Sib and Attach to make sure that as Kremp and Mac are finding success around the map, which they often have at least throughout this season, can they find the right routes? Can they lock down the right angles to make sure they're controlling the map well? Because that's one thing that really hasn't changed for Cloud9, is what are they going to look like on rotation and in holds particularly?
Yeah, I feel like when you talk about Cloud9, their rotations are usually, at least on certain maps, pretty up to par. Like we saw it versus Toronto in their series. They were able to dominate in basically every single rotation on that opening hard point, but they only have one rep on a map like Hacienda. Both teams only got one rep. Even though they're both sitting at 1-0, it was a tighter game on the side of Cloud9. They only won by the difference of 11. They're 4th in rotation, number 1 in holds. On the opposite side for Surge, 1st in rotation, 7th in holds. Their stats are going to be a little bit, you know, lackluster because we only have 1 rep on each side. But based off of what we saw in map number 1, Vancouver were the team that dominated the majority of those rotations. If you're Cloud9, especially on a map like Hasi, you need to be the team there early.
It's really funny when you look at the full breakdown of the individual maps per each of these two teams on hardpoint. It's like 8th, 9th, 10th across the board on every single map. And then you get to Hacienda, it's like 1st, 3rd, 4th. It's like, again, only 1 rep. So take it with a grain of salt, and I think in particular, look at the wider picture. Both these two teams have been looking for identity in the hard point. Vancouver finding an edge in map number 1, but Cloud9 already off to a good start here in Hacienda.
Yeah, soaking a lot of this P1 time. They win the gunfight over towards Rockside to control top open. They're keeping up at the slaying. Now with only 30 seconds left, you want to be able to flip the map, see how safe Nasty's playing. He's waiting for his teammates to spawn before he applies the pressure, but even after he applies the pressure, still not able to find a kill.
Yeah, a couple of frustrating opening lives here for Vancouver, you'd imagine. And yeah, here we go. I mean, you've got 3 total kills through essentially 3 waves of gunfights, and the spawns have already started to move just a touch. Attach, that's a big 1v1 that Neptune does win, and that'll allow the spawns to likely stay pretty secure here for Vancouver as Cloud9 make their way through Wellside.
Yeah, it's tough to give up 30 seconds at P1, but when you bank on your setup there at P2, you're able to execute it at the final moments to secure the spawns. Now Neptune hands full on the backside.
Yeah.
Not able to lead to a kill. So already the spawns are flipping for Cloud9. They have the numbers, just got to trade on out.
Yeah, Nasty was looking for a chance to pinch, and he found one, but immediately shut down. Good response from New York. And now, huge, through Trophy, that little zig hallway on the side. Attach is able to find a couple eliminations, and still, the kill tallies here for Vancouver have not been the same that we saw in map number 1. Cloud9 looking comfy so far.
Yeah, they're getting ran right now. Guns need to start getting a little bit more hot. Putting yourself in better positions. They're still going to try to attempt this break for the final 20 seconds. Nasty through the front door is able to find the double, but both his teammates at Zig do fall. So Tash is going to turn his focus towards the front side, find that kill, and Cloud9 all of a sudden are up by 40 points. Rotation over towards New at P3. Vancouver fully set up. But Cloud9 already in a position to break.
Yeah, the only bit of grace that you gain off of that kind of final moment for Vancouver is that Nasty put some pressure on this Cloud9 rotation, but you can already see what's happened. The spawns have already moved with this hit going up through top office. Neptune finds 2. Still kicking it alive up top on the patio. He'll find more than that. Sib trying to chase down the train.
Oh,
but
man.
He just can't find Neptune. Now he's off the regen. The hit from the front was also successful simultaneously, and Vancouver are already around fences trying to hold from the interior.
Yeah, that's a route right there, though. And Neptune's going to want on back because you give them the free bleed. I know you're able to read that play. Working his way through connector, but Abuza is able to find 3 to say, okay, don't worry, I got you, buddy. I'll make up for that play. Final 20 seconds potentially in the hands of Vancouver. Still going to try to contest this, though. If you are Cloud9, effective on the trades is Crap. He's able to find a double. Now you turn it into a 2v2 off the roto, and it's looking like Cloud9 are going to walk away with this one.
Yeah, Abuza knows he's under threat from multiple angles, trying to hope he can kill enough time for his teammates to get here, but it's not going to work out. The cut is also covered. Cloud9, good on the scrap at old, better on the rotation to do. Growing their lead back up to 30+ points. Here comes the hit for Vancouver. A lot of it coming from the front. Abuza. Yeah, unfortunate team kill comes through. Leaves 0-4 by himself, and Kremp wins the final 1v1 to keep Cloud9 in.
Yeah, I was wondering why Cloud9 didn't know that they were spawning over towards Boat. You got 2 players that spawn over towards Lambo, but nobody was watching that right side. So you almost gave Vancouver an opportunity to break their way on in, but now they're going for their second attempt, and Neptune 04 Nasty combined for 3 kills. Last player here to contest it is going to be Mac. He gets taken care of. This is a very scrappy P4. Yep. Vancouver currently still in control.
I mean, considering that Cloud9 got the full 60 on P2, essentially, this is not bad news here for Vancouver, especially with the clean exit. It allows a route to start to develop. Trying to cut off Cloud9 from finding any sort of a flip early, and that's a staggered kill on the Mac. That's going to allow not just Vancouver to control the map, but they can also get in for some early time here.
Only down by 10 points. Still got players roaming through top close. Neptune on 5 in a row, 5 HP in the Dreams. Just going to finesse with his life. Continue to be a nuisance, hoping that his teammates can find some success through the front end. But here comes the pinch. Good enough for 1, good enough for 2. Amigo challenge. Give me number 3. And that's all 4 dead. Vancouver. Potential lead change on the cards, and Neptune continues to make play after play.
That's unreal awareness from Neptune. 2 of his members spawn up over towards Spiral. He says, bet. Let me get around the backside of this AR setup, and absolutely dismantles Cloud9 as Vancouver will find their first lead here in the map for a small moment. Re-break on the way for Cloud9. A couple of kills actually allow them to move across the map here. 10 seconds remaining. Nasty's at new, but these spawns, well, I was about to say they shouldn't be open yet, but a couple of teammates will still spawn backside driveway. We've got a straight up 50-50 here on the back of P2.
Oh, now you're forced to be in a tight setup, but they come out on top. 3 for 1, make it all 4 have fallen on the side of Cloud9. Another lead change here for Surge. And now their opportunity to run the score up. You have every player accounted for. Neptune at least starts off the trade fights through top mid. They're trying to take away the back, but Vancouver aren't giving it up for free.
Nope, not at all. Here comes pressure, though. Cloud9 trying to work on a bit of a pinch on the interior. Kremp, the water route's going to work out. Nice angle at it as he and Mac combine for 2. 04 setting up a bit of a repitch here. He's got space for Neptune to come up through Spiral, and that's going to be good enough. I mean, Neptune is with whatever he freaking wants. 04 on the follow-up is good, and Vancouver from the front will re-break with 10 seconds of scrap.
The guy's just like, don't worry, guys. Let me cook real quick. I'm going to walk my way through mid-zig and find a double, and he continues to find multi-kill after multi-kill. Vancouver now up by 30. Win the rotation over towards new, and you can already look at your mini-map. Cloud9 is so damn far away. With that 1 player falling, you're still going to spawn in towards the front side, but Vancouver are just running away with this game now.
And now the threat already aware is 04 trying to hold on to patio. Good elimination stretch here, though, for Cloud9. Nasty a little late to the party. Just trying to do what he can on this final elimination versus Sib. That's going to lead to a very one-dimensional approach here for Vancouver, having to play their way through 10. Neptune down to 50 HP. Sib quick to follow up on the trade, and a nice moment here for Cloud9 with 25 seconds to scrap.
Yeah, this is where you fight this. You do not give up all this time. You want to try to contest this all the way to the very end. Make sure someone is thinking about that rotation over towards new, because players on pinches are getting caught and cut down. That's already 4 dead. Vancouver Now forced to think about that rotation over towards Nu, but Cloud9, they're going to be the team early.
Yeah, Mac just trying to get forward. No one's watching hallway at the moment, though. Wait a second, Vancouver, they may actually just be able to bully their way into the hard point. So was the case for a moment, but Kremp gets 2 before dropping, leaving just a 1v1 for Sim, who's now on 6 in a row. Cloud9 back in the lead, reinforcing as we jump to a C9. Listen in.
Guns open. I'm looking at my gun.
I'm front still.
I have your front side. I have your front side.
Front side, yep.
He's front, contesting.
Could be middle.
Nothing on the flank. One shot.
A boost. Middle.
I'm here. Close. I real. They flip. Nice. One more shooting. Get off his.
Here, help me.
Double that. I'm about to fire. They're gonna run flat. Play front.
Down here.
Nothing went off. They're all going office.
Three here.
Nice. I'll get initial.
I'll get a flat pinch. I will get a nothing comes spiral. I will get a flat pinch.
Alright, I have initial. I'm saying that.
Two Lambo.
One's absolute spiral. Heard you. 2 Lambo, 1 spiral, missing
Still
1.
Lambo. No one Lambo.
Have it closed.
Okay, I'm not open.
Nothing closed. I'm already closed.
I'm time.
We're trying to open it.
Oh, wait, got me already open.
Two more.
Open 1 shot. Open absolute.
Yeah, 2 of them. I got
I got time. Stay up. Just stay up.
I have it.
I have my own secret. Someone look at the top mid.
I have their time well.
They spawn well on you.
Top closed, 1 shot.
Nothing left.
Our cat. I didn't spiral.
How about the quarterbacking from attached? The quick call on they flipped, and then immediately you get the 4 dead. You say slow it down, iron it up, and Cloud9 had themselves 26 points away from sending us to a 5th map.
Man, they have blown this game wide open. Before we get to that, listen, it was Vancouver up by 10 to 15 points, but they couldn't find a break there at the Money Hill at P4. I love how Cloud9, though, initially when they found that first wave of kills, they still stayed tight in their setup. No one turned it into a one-on-one gunfight, getting aggressive over towards top spiral. They had everything covered for. And now only need 20 seconds to force this map. Number 5, they win the rotation over towards Nu. Last hurrah here for Surge.
Big wins, though, for Vancouver. They've got the pinch already developing. Nice win from Kremper on the backside of the door. Booza diving on in. Mac trying to follow up, but not going to be able to win it. And oh, the follow-up! Neptune just takes an ego gel versus attach and blows him up. Back to respawn he goes. Vancouver will stabilize with 35 seconds on the hill.
And if you're Cloud9, this is what someone, you know, you're going to try to break this one more time. But someone develop on a really long pinch, and that's going to be Mac. Working his way all the way through well, already takes the back away from Vancouver. They are forced to be in a tight setup, and so far they have been able to come out on top. That's already 3 dead. And you're still able to stabilize the map. As you know, Cloud9 are all spawning all the way across from it. But with only 10 seconds left, we can no longer lose here. We got to go.
Yeah, Sib, he gets a nice double, but again, with the time that was still remaining, he gets isolated, and now Vancouver quickly on the rotation over. Hard point opens. Cloud9 in for the initial. Here comes Vancouver's setup. Shots from Neptune over the top. Not quite able to land for the full elimination. 0-4 Nasty. Last 2 working together. What is essentially a 2v3. Mac able to find both though in the corner. Off the quick spawn. Vancouver trying to get back. They need a touch. They need a challenge. They don't get in there for the contest. And we're going 5 in what has been a thriller of a series to this point.
Man, this has been an absolute classic of a series between Vancouver and Cloud9. Last time that they matched up as organizations wasn't these rosters, at least on the side of Vancouver. It was a clean 3 over Cloud9 in the minor. But that map number 4 was blow for blow. Cloud9 just turned it around on its head when they were able to chain that P3, the ending of that P3 to the beginning of that P4 for a full 60, and then get 20 to 30 seconds uncontested over towards P1. Just a back and forth hard point, man. Teams were going blow for blow. Vancouver were responding, at least off their rotations on the second half of the game. Neptune gave them so many opportunities, but eventually the other players had to start to pick it on up. 26 non-traded, not good enough for the W. And now Cloud9 get through that Hossie. Now puts them 2-0 on the season. I'm telling you, it was back and forth, back and forth. But when we got to that P4, P1, that's when they started to pull away. And now they force the game 5.
Yeah, the near full 60 comes into play. The strong rotation from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. And a lot of it we heard in the listening. Just good awareness from Cloud9 has us eagerly awaiting a protocol search and destroy. And whoa, the storylines are juicy because, let's just say it the way it is, the reps here are very minimal for both these two teams.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that it just feels like all the stats prior to these little roster changes and this little spark from Sib may not matter at all. We're step away. Quick break. Don't go anywhere. I dare you not to. Come back. We got map 5 right after this.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League.
Now, as hot as the game may seem, I know one thing that won't be that crazy, and that's the comms of Toronto Ultra.
We kill him?
Calm as ever, Toronto Ultra. Now to the other side of the stage.
I don't see anything, bro. I literally top up.
Put your head down and secure the target. Planting the bomb.
I need him top up.
He's in the little thing.
Come in. Come back in.
I'm already bombs down.
Yeah, bombs up.
That way.
I can kill that guy. Done.
Nice. Above you on the gear.
No man.
No man's right now.
Now, hit them again before they
Little baby.
Hey, bro, I'm on Mars, right?
I'm on Mars.
Here come the thieves. They cannot allow this to slip now. And there is snaking going on. Octane and Envoy have broken through. Ken finds the second 1v1. And it's Clayster looking for the last. And they put it out. 10 seconds. 10 points. The comeback of the CDL year. Can they do it? The thieves are moving. But they are moving into the kill feed. And Legion has just made the greatest comeback in Hardpoint you will ever see.
No way.
They're doing the CDL song. No way. Are we about to get started? Yeah. Are we about to get started?
No words for Dallas, Texas. The Major 2 will be beckoning off of what we had after what was an all-time world championship last year. But before we get there, we got to continue on with what has been a battle here. Map 5, Vancouver, Cloud9, taking on what has been, I would say, one of the more electric series of the weekend, which is surprising to say, Jay, because let's be candid, we have had some bangers this weekend.
Yes, we have, man. We have had some absolute bangers, but to take a look at the Map 5 metrics so far on the season for both of these two teams, Cloud9 only have one victory. They're ranked 10th overall, currently on a 1-win streak, so their most recent series that they went all the way to the distance, they found success. It's just on the opposite side for Vancouver, 3-2. You're obviously feeling a little bit more icy in these moments, and you got to be feeling even better that you have a player like Neptune on your squad, because to think about a map like Protocol with a brand new roster, you probably don't really have a lot of strategies that you're going to be able to throw out in this map. So it probably might just be an all-out head bash in towards that A site. And if you're Vancouver, the side that you do tend to struggle on is that attacking round, especially in that first blood. Send a Neptune, he might be able to change that for you.
That's what you're hoping for. He's been able to showcase his ability to win out his opening ones. We saw it versus the series in Atlanta. Maybe not so much in the opening here versus Cloud9 on what was a Hacienda search and destroy. A couple of missed moments as Neptune was trying to kind of force the issue early. So what's going to be the calls? What's going to be the plays here as Neptune will see the doors break on open? Is prepared for the gunfight versus Kremp, but still not able to win it. Kremp has stayed nicely covered as well. He'll keep his life here after that first.
It's an all-out battle through top mid. The fact that Kremp is almost able to get out with his life would have been such a great play to be made. But 0-4 finds his second on the round. Is able to find number 3 onto attach. Effective on the trade. Now it's all up to Sib, 1v2.
And Sib's gotten a read on 1. Oh, and his timing on this rewrap could be absolutely ideal. No, doesn't. Whoa! Oh! Doesn't expect 0-4, but just snaps and rips his head off. And that's going to be enough for Nasty to jump off from the plant.
Yeah, Sib's not supposed to win that gunfight. But this is why he is that caliber of AR player and might be able to clutch up on the round for his team. It's the beamer onto 0-4, the rewrap onto Nasty. Dante, yeah, he's got that thing on him. He's able to secure round 1.
I mean, that's just unbelievable. Do we have a replay of that? Yes, we do.
Please.
Of course we do. This is from 0-4's perspective. Wow, a little windy.
Oh my God.
But look at this snap. Just, yo, not today. And that just completely resets everything. Sib, knowing the bomb was not planted, just makes the right read on the full return of Nasty around the back.
See the facial expression there, Alan?
What
Like,
facial
insane
expression?
gunfight. It was absolutely nothing on the side of Civ. He's just like, oh, business as usual. Secures round number 1 for Cloud9. Now their attempt on their own attack. They're gonna go right back to this B strategy, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to read Abuza and over into at this position. He's able to find the first blood.
The trade would be decent here, though. They're on the hunt for it. Attach is actually stuck. He may have gotten shot from the window side, so Abuza will pop up off the regen. Also reloading through, but Attach beats him to the punch. Also gets to read that Nasty's playing up close towards these arches, and it looks like Attach will have to play bomb collector as this is just scattered 1v1s all over the place.
Yeah, they had info on both of the players, but no one wanted to give up their position. That leads to Nasty finding 1. Nasty finding a second on the round. Now it's Attach's turn at a 1v2. Don't put it past him. He's been one of the best search and destroy players to ever exist in Call of Duty. So he is going to have that bomb in hand. 30 seconds to go. Might have played this to perfection because he catches them out the rotation.
Yep.
Bomb going to be planted at A.
How do you reapproach this if you're Vancouver? Looks like they want to both drop down in towards elevator. Attach has both weapons to work with. Does he catch this timing though? No, not at all. Neptune just cleanly catches Attach from behind. No worries there. It took heroics in round number 1 from Cloud9. They don't have it 2 rounds in a row though as we tie things up early.
Right there, if you're Cloud9 though, like you had the initial gunfight to go your way. You found that first blood, or at least were able to effectively trade it. Turn it into a 3v3. You knew that Abuza was trapped over towards Ellie. It's just once they found that kill, it's like everyone was nervous on moving or giving up their positioning at that time. For anyone to think about that objective, that allows Nasty to finesse around 10 for the first kill and the second. And then in the 2v1, even though the bomb does get planted, Attach just doesn't choose the right side to look at. Vancouver able to tie the game up. Back to the offense they go. And they probably want to go to this A strat.
Yeah, I mean, this is the exact same setup that they had from the first round where they tried to get Neptune forward. This time there is no defense in the middle of the map, respecting the trophy systems. Do they get a read though, Cloud9, on this wrap from Neptune, who, again, you got to keep in mind, is the bomb carrier here. We saw something like this at the Hacienda where he gets caught. This time, a little bit more restriction as he will back away.
Vancouver trying to play the mind games, force them to think about that rotation over towards B. You at least get the positioning for Mac to take over towards Heli, and that opens up this A site. Abuza finds the first blood onto Kremp. Now you have the man advantage in towards one of the more difficult sites to retake.
Yeah, Kremp getting shut down on that long pinch may be the round determination here. Any heroics here from Mac and Attach. 2v3 situation. 30 seconds on the clock for this retake to come through. Neptune just throwing shoulders. Little wiggle, little wag. Back and forth he goes. Booza on the crossfire setup. That will work easily for the first, and then Attach caught out. No worries there. Clean post plant for Vancouver.
And it all starts with that initial play call. Okay, it didn't work the first go around, but if we throw it again, that same exact play, this time we will make sure we play our live a little bit more and think about that rotation back over to the opposite side. They're able to force the Cloud9 setup to be broken down in towards A. Find the player in Kremp working on the deep pinch for that first blood, and then once you get that bomb down in the man advantage, just crossfires galore. Set up mid towards the bottom side of bunker as Vancouver are able to rally 2 rounds in a row.
I think a lot of minds are sitting here thinking about these first 3 rounds and saying Vancouver should be up 3-0. So small lifeline for Cloud9 after round 1's heroics from Sid. He will drop though as first blood comes through for Vancouver. The follow-up is also looking good for Surge. Kremp, the last one standing topside staircase, could do nothing. And that's a quick tally for Vancouver, now up 3-1.
Quick round right there for Vancouver. They said, okay, we're probably not going to go back to that top mid play, so we'll stack over towards both sides. You send in 04 and Neptune, that dynamic SMG duo are able to start off the trends. You find the first blood through top mid, and then Attaches and helping when Matt tries to fly on in and find that kill with an unfortunate team kill on his side. But just a very clean round, very effective round right there to Surge to just play their numbers, match their aggression, and trade it out effectively.
Yep. Pressure on to Cloud9 here. Need to put together some sort of a response. Defensively, they have not had many answers. This time, it'll be a little bit of a play through field side. Nades coming through. Neptune not affected by any of that, though. And we swap over to catch Kremp. Getting caught by surprise aggressively over towards tower side. Mac will also be stunned here. Bottom side elevator. And honestly, for Cloud9, they're kind of stuck having to play where they currently reside.
Yeah, because there's a lot of attacks that are still getting invested over towards this A site. But Vancouver, no, we have the man advantage. They're probably stacking in towards A, so let's just rotate our way on out and plant this bomb at B for free. Now in the 4v3. Nasty, your job is just not allow anyone to work this deep pinch. And he might have put himself in a perfect position to at least find a freebie.
Yep, that's exactly the case. Mac will drop immediately. Sid able to find 1. Shots to Nasty, keep him at bay, but the problem is 04 is behind the play, leaving Attached by himself, and they will just allow him to stay a bit more isolated. Pistol out, a decent effort, but not going to work out. And, well, Jay, I want to get your opinion here because I was in the same boat as you, thinking this is a new roster for Vancouver. Maybe they're just going to head bash and trust Neptune. We've seen some bomb fakes come through here where we're showing force on one side, pull the defense, then go the other way.
Yeah, they're making adjustments, man, and this is what you expect out of this Vancouver roster because you got to keep in mind, 04 and Abuza, even with last year's Seattle Surge roster, they were always one of the top S&D teams in the game because they were able to make those mid-round adjustments regardless of who was on the roster. So now you add Neptune into the play, and he looks like he was getting a lot of info early into that round as well, but I think that's more on the back of what Kremp was going to do. He gives them the first blood, and they retake their way with their numbers to the complete opposite side. That's 4 rounds in a row, trying to make it 5. Here's 04.
Yeah, and that may do it right there. The SMG's just reign supreme, down low. Sib stuck, heads up the rope. Neptune thinking about the pursuit. Trying to time it with the nade. Actually doesn't even really get affected by it. A couple of shots will land. And, well, more antics with the rope starting to come through for both players.
Neptune just want to keep the information gain on where Sib is. They have no info gain on where Attaches as he's working his way on the pinch. Nasty with the effective shoulder. 57 HP. Yeah, let's go for the double chow. 04 is going to be able to clean it on up. Now Sib left in a 1v4, makes it a 1v3.
Does at least see Nasty up top, but does not expect Neptune. Waiting for him. Oh my goodness. Vancouver, after the upset surprise versus Atlanta. A hot start in this series. Cloud9 gave him something to real think about over map 2. A convincing Hacienda search, but here it's been nothing but Vancouver. I mean, flat out, every round has been Vancouver at the advantage early.
Every single time, man. On their defenses, that's now 2 rounds in a row where they've been able to shut down that early A pressure. On their offenses, they're playing the mind games where they're finding success early on with that first blood, forcing the rotation to come on in, thinking that they're going to that site, but then they're rotating back and playing their numbers to their advantage. 5 rounds in a row now puts them at game point. Neptune bomb carrier in hand. Yep, shoulder, shoulder. How much info can I gain? Only one player here, so just gonna slow this round down.
Yeah, not interested. Let me get out of there. Nades tossed as well, kind of in the same direction, but here comes the flip. Looks like Cloud9 are trying to wrap and set themselves up to deal with this, but in the process, they lose attach up top of the windows. That is a lot of scouting opportunity essentially denied now, as all of a sudden you have to have a rewrap back up top. Krep trying to work this position, but 04 is going to get deep beyond the B site here.
That's all he has to do. Put himself in a position to stay alive on that side of the map. He said, okay, team, I have cleared out this bomb. We can rotate it here. We just got to trade it out. We have the numbers. Here comes the bloodbath.
Yeah, indeed it does. 04 around the back, finds Sib for free. And Cloud9 just cannot keep track of this Vancouver motion on the map. Max shut down by 04. Last one left. Krep would have to go huge. Not gonna happen. Vancouver gonna start off stage 2 with the quote-unquote honeymoon phase with the addition of Neptune 2-0.
Yeah, I don't even think it's honeymoon, Alan. I just love the way that these guys are playing Call of Duty.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. You have an effective player, and Neptune is not afraid to make a play. You got the same thing alongside with 04. But with how aggressive those two play and how fast they have been able to work in